Hello everybody, I am Fuzzyface. Welcome back to another edition of this Motorsport Manager career. We're back today with the penultimate race of this season. It is round 16. It is the Dubai Grand Prix and everything is still to play for here. We just have to keep pace with the Ferraris. In fact, it's not even about keeping pace with the Ferraris. As we move over to the standings at the moment, we currently hold a 22-point lead over the prancing horses and a massive lead over the Mercedes. The Mercedes team pretty much out of it. K-Mag's been underperforming recently. The Mercedes have been messing up the strategy for Lewis Hamilton over the last couple of races as well. He had a crash. Meanwhile, 2 races ago in Phoenix, which is where we really started to fight back against the Ferraris, who managed to keep both of our cars in front of their respective counterpart in the Ferrari team. Ocon ahead of Vettel, Norris ahead of Leclerc, and then in Rio we had an absolutely perfectly executed strategy during the rain. The Ferrari had pretty much a nightmare. Charles Leclerc finishing 4th, Sebastian Vettel finishing all the way down in 7th. So now we go into the final 2 races and everything's pretty much in our hands. We know Dubai, it needs to be, has to be a really good result, because I don't think once we get to the oval track to finish the season in Phoenix, which is pretty much where the car and the driver make all the difference. Obviously Ferrari by far and away, they have the most powerful car at the moment, pretty much overpowered. They're that much ahead of the Mercedes as well at the moment, although not that much further ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Maybe Lewis Hamilton's car and him in that one car is maybe a little bit stronger than Vettel in his Ferrari, but Ferrari overall as a team with Charles Leclerc in that second driver's seat, possibly a lot stronger than Mercedes, a hell of a lot stronger than us. I don't think we're going to be able to keep pace with them in Phoenix, so everything is going to have to come down to Dubai, and then sort of whatever damage limitation we can get out of Phoenix. Maybe it's just going to be a race about damage limitation here in Dubai, as the engine is crucial, front wing is crucial, and suspension is crucial. As we move over here, Ferrari have jumped above us. As they did, they've made a massive upgrade to their engine. Red Bull have now also overtaken us, as have Mercedes. So whilst we're not developing parts now for this year's car or for next year's car, because there's not much in the room of what we can adjust, and there's no point really building any new parts, wasting any sort of money, because there's no real jumps that we can make in the car this season. But as we move over to suspension, Ferrari better than us there. The front wing, which is crucial here, Ferrari really strong there, as are McLaren, Red Bull, Ferrari. So we're sort of starting to drop down towards the sort of midfield at the moment, but we know when we get to the start of next season, we've got a really strong car to start the season with. And also there will be a new team biting around the top 5. It's going to be a top 5 team that's going to be introduced to Formula 1. Whether that's going to set us back a step, whether it will set Red Bull back a step, obviously it's going to make it harder for the McLaren and Renault to get up to the top 5 as well. But they're going to be a lot stronger next season as well. So we'll talk about next season once we get to the pre-season video. But anyway, we're going to jump straight into this race. We're going to take Puma as usual. Both guys still happy with their car. Norris does have the better Aero setup, the better Aero package. Ocon, as usual, has the better engine package. So it's pretty much split between the two sort of parts of the cars here. So whilst the engine is crucial, the front wing is crucial as well. So we should have pretty decent performances from both guys. Hopefully Norris is going to be in Q3. He's missed out a few times this season on Q3. We'll just have a look at the drivers side by side this season. So Ocon is 2nd to Norris's 4th. Ocon obviously has more points. This season form average never works here. So this season Ocon's had 9 podiums to Norris's 5. And Ocon has out-qualified his teammate 14 times to 1, out-racing 12 times to 3, and won 4 races to Norris's 1. So Norris, who at the moment does have a stat, so he's actually a little bit better at the moment because he's racing stock cars. He does have an improvement to his brakes, and I'm expecting him to make a big step up before next season. So at some point, Norris, since he's a little bit younger, he might get ahead of Esteban Ocon, because Ocon, his development's rather slowed down, whereas as Norris is, because he's rated as a wonder kid, which we don't have that same stat with Ocon. Since Norris is a wonder kid, his development rate is a little bit accelerated over Ocon, so Norris is possibly going to become the better driver. Even though both guys have the same ceiling of getting to 5 stars, Norris is possibly going to get there first. If Ocon even does get there, he might get stuck at 4.5. But anyway, we're going to get into the race. Enough of the pre-race stuff here, and we'll be back with Q3 in just a second. Ocon is about to start his first flying lap here in Q3. So far in qualifying, the Ferraris have looked mightily dominant, just absolutely dominating the field, just blitzing everyone. About 3 tenths quicker through Q1 and Q2. Vettel quickest, Leclerc second. We have been outclassed as well by both Ferraris, both Mercedes and both Red Bulls up to now. Hopefully in this qualifying session we can somehow crack the top 6. That would be an achievement for us. We do have both, I think we've got both McLarens here as well. We've got Bottas and Van Dorn here, so hopefully we can stay ahead of them as well. But as it is, Hamilton set an almighty first lap, but Vettel is going quicker in the first sector here. Ocon is currently quicker than the McLaren. We're slowing down behind the other Mercedes here, so what is everyone going to be like as we get through this first lap? We've split the McLarens. It looks like the top 6 cars, the Mercedes, the Ferrari, the Red Bulls are all quicker than us. So hopefully there is room to gain there on Magnussen and Ricciardo. So hopefully when we do our second qualifying lap, Ocon can put in one of his so far famed last qualifying laps that he's had this season and crack the top 6. That would be amazing if we could actually make that happen here. It's time for the second lap in qualifying. This time Norris is out first. Ocon doesn't do the greatest of jobs with his temperatures, but hopefully he's still going to be able to pick up some time. Otherwise 7th and 9th might be the best we're looking at in this race, in a race where the Ferrari are looking pretty strong, although the Mercedes of Hamilton is splitting them at the moment. Ocon slower through the first sector, whereas Norris is going quicker. Does he have the speed to get above Valtteri Bottas, who he should have over this lap? But who is out in front of us at the moment? It is Van Dorn who's going to come across the line first. Van Dorn stays where he is. Norris moves up to 4th place, but we're going to see a lot of movement in this car at the moment, whereas Ocon cannot go any quicker. He stays down in 8th. Norris is dropping to 5th, possibly going to drop behind Magnussen as well. Magnussen set the quickest first sector. Magnussen, meanwhile, has he finished? No, he stays down in 8th place. So Norris with an amazing qualifying session there. But anyway, here is the grid for the 2020 Dubai Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc parks his prancing horse on pole position for an all front row lockout for the Ferrari team. Leclerc first, Sebastian Vettel second. They must now be favourites for taking home the Constructors' Championships this season unless we can get a strategy working, which we will go over in a second. Meanwhile, on the second row of the grid, Pascal Wehrlein with an absolutely amazing qualifying session gets his Red Bull car all the way up into 3rd place. Lewis Hamilton himself in that Mercedes is 4th. Lando Norris is 5th. An amazing second qualifying lap from him in Q3, gets himself up to 5th ahead of Valtteri Bottas as well in the McLaren. Then we've got Daniel Ricciardo all the way down in 7th here, split between a Williams and the McLaren from being up there in the top 6. And then Kevin Magnussen, who's got a dodgy neck at the moment, 8th place as K-Mag continues to underperform this season. And Esteban Ocon sort of underperforming from what we would have expected him in front of Norris. Unfortunately, he's down in 9th, not doing the best of jobs with his tyre and brake temps on that second run in Q2. Stoffel Van Dorn is 10th in the McLaren, followed by Nico Hülkenberg in the Renault, who's also got a dodgy neck. Felix Rosenqvist, his teammates, just behind him in 12th. Then we've got Roman Grosjean in the Haas in 13th. And Max still struggling in this Force India team. Where he will end up next season is a question in and all of itself, but he is hoping to go to one of the top 3 teams next season. Then in 15th we've got Pierre Gasly even in the Toro Rosso, Carlos Sainz in the Haas, Sergio Perez in the Force India 17th, Alex Lynn in the Sauber is 18th, and then as usual the 10th row of the grid is Billy Johnson in the Toro Rosso, followed by Marcus Ericsson in the Sauber. Now, as regards to strategy for this race, as we just wait for the lights to go out, hopefully we can have a good start here. Ocon's a little bit slow off the line. Norris looked like he was pretty quick, but it looks like he got stuck behind the Red Bull. And that is K-Mag running well wide here and almost parking it into the barrier. He's a long way behind now. That moves Ocon up the order a little bit here. But as it is with the strategy today, there is a chance we can one-stop this race means getting as much as we can out of this soft tyre, going 7-8 laps if we can make it do that, and then getting a hard tyre all the way to the end of the race. That is one of the only ways I think we can possibly keep pace with the Ferraris today. I don't think they're going to have the same mindset of going for the one-stop strategy. You never know, it might be something they go for. But I'm saying that we've got Norris up into third at the moment. He's doing a good job of hanging on. If the race stayed the way it was though, we would be equal on points, 4-4-2 points. It would absolutely be even heading into the last race here. So we do really need to keep Norris here. We do need to keep Ocon higher up the order. He's gone 7th. What happened there? How did he move to 7th? Did Ricciardo just drop off there? So that would put us... No, what happened there? He said he was 8th and then he moved up to 7th. Maybe I was just not paying attention enough. But anyway, Norris is 3rd. We're starting to drop behind the Ferraris a little bit. They've got about an 8/10 gap in front of us. They're possibly pushing the tyre a little bit more than we are. No, they're just pushing the fuel a little bit more than we are. We're going to save our fuel to the end of the session. Meanwhile, we do have to look after the tyres because it's 23 degrees. Anything usually about 20 degrees sort of helps the tyre heat up a little bit more than you want it to, so we're going to have to maybe conserve the tyre a little bit. We want to be able to get to 7 laps in this Grand Prix, or 7 at least. If I could get to 9, that would be amazing. If we could get to 9, obviously. This says 2022, but as the race goes on, it usually picks up another couple of laps as you sort of bed into what sort of tyre wear you're going to be doing for the race. A lot of that is possibly down to the racer stat that both of our guys, Norris and Ocon, have, because it does give them a +2 to their smoothness as well as every other stat in the game. As you can see, the racer gives them an overall +2 rating to every stat during a race. So with that, their smoothness rating does go up, so it does give us maybe an extra couple of laps on the tyres. So we just need to look after the tyres at the moment and hold off these pack of cars behind us. We don't want to let Hamilton or Verline through, but somehow we're going to have to do that. They're pushing their fuel at the moment, so we're going to have to do this to keep Norris in front of Hamilton. But it looks like Hamilton's got the run in that Mercedes, but Norris keeps it going, pushes Hamilton wide, which opens him up to Verline. Verline can't get past him. Meanwhile, Ocon is in 7th place on the back of this pack as well. So maybe we can get him going in overtake mode. We don't have room to push the tyres, and there goes Hamilton as well. Hamilton gets through. Nothing we can do about it. We're trying to stretch these tyres to do the one-stop strategy, which is what we need to hold out to do. There's no real room for us to push the Ferraris to their limit at the moment. So we're just going to hold off here a little bit. We'll keep going with Ocon though, because we need to move him up the order a little bit. Hopefully we've got the speed on Verline, who is being passed by Valtteri Bottas, having a really good start to this Grand Prix at the moment. Norris is falling behind Hamilton now. Hamilton's about to shoot off into the distance to make this one-stop work over Ferrari. We do need to stay within 20 seconds of them. It doesn't look like that's going to be happening because they're just shooting off into the distance here. Vettel ahead of his teammate Charles Leclerc here. But if we can just keep these positions, it would still keep us within touching distance heading into Phoenix. But hopefully we're going to pick up on these positions. Hopefully we're going to get Ocon ahead of Verline and Bottas. That should be doable this race. And we've got Verline coming into the pits. And Leclerc, has he run wide? Has he cut a corner? That means he's under investigation for something. But as we saw with Norris, when he cut the corner a few races ago to pass Pierre Gasly on track, and there he's been let off. Whatever it is, it doesn't seem like penalties are actually working in this game at the moment. Whether that's something to do with the mod or not, I don't know. But it seems like a couple of the AI cars are going through their tyre a little bit quicker than we are. So what we're going to do is just sit back and conserve for a little bit. And we'll get the fuel just running in medium. I'm not too bothered about falling behind here. If we can just run in conserve mode and make this one-stop work for us and get ourselves a little bit higher up the order. Obviously, Verline won't be going for a 2-stop from here. We're just going to see what sort of tyre he comes back out, and he's got the hard tyre on. But 24 laps is a little bit too much to push that, as now you see we've moved up to 21 to 23 laps for this hard tyre. So we could pit any time around now, and we should be able to get it towards the end of the race. But whilst we've still got a little bit of life in this soft tyre, we might as well try and give ourselves a little bit of room to push on the harder tyre compound later on in the race. I'm thinking that's going to be the strategy to go for, rather than pushing these used softs, which might not give us too much of a performance boost. But if we can get through another 2-3 laps on this tyre, our strategy is going to fall into place for what I was planning for. Obviously the Ferraris and Mercedes are going to be at a stretch as well. They're going to be going for the one stop, so it might be hard to keep up with them. But if we can hold these positions as well, just 1 point behind the Ferraris now in the Constructors' Championship. Obviously we had a 22-point lead going into this race, but with the Ferraris being 1 and 2 at the moment, it's not quite working out for us. Hopefully Hamilton's going to be able to put Leclerc under pressure. He's going to be able to take some points away from him. Hopefully we're going to be able to move Ocon up the order as well and maybe catch Bottas later in this race. We know all our boosts for this race are based around the hard tyre. So once we get onto the hard tyre, hopefully we've got a little bit of a performance boost above the AI cars who might not be switching for or not chosen the hard tyre for their boost here. So we've got about 1 more lap left in us. We've got the gap between our cars that we want to have a fast pit stop here. Hopefully I remembered. Yes, I did remember. I think it's just the guys fixing the parts, so we can do a decent pit stop here. Norris way on form here as well. He's on top form. Are we going to see any of the Ferraris dive into the pits? Vettel goes past. It looks like Leclerc's going past as well. Hamilton is going past, so Bottas is going to be catchable for the end of this race. So we see a lot of cars coming into the pits now. So whilst we're on this is going to be our last lap on this tyre. So we're going to get pushing, attack and high mode. Hopefully pick up a little bit of time here. And we're going to get on to the hard tyre, which we're hoping is going to be able to see us through to the end of the race. Hopefully we can do that. And we don't see the same tyre increase there for the hard tyre that we've seen from Norris. Norris has actually made a step up to the 21-23 mark, which we saw. Maybe it dropped off a bit, maybe. No, he's still getting 21 to 23 laps from that tyre. But hopefully we're going to have a decent pit stop here from Norris's pit crew team. From our Williams team. Hopefully it's going to be decent. We're not going to make a mistake, otherwise we will be double stacking. We're actually pretty close, then a little bit too close here, so we want to just hold off a little bit. Nope, wrong car holding off. What am I even doing? Wrong car holding off. We want that gap to just be a little bit more than 2 seconds, just to make sure we're not really double stacking here. And meanwhile it does let Ocon recover some fuel as well, so he's now 2.5 seconds behind, which should be enough as they come into the pits. So here we go, Norris, can we get in and out of the pits? Hopefully no mistakes, double step the cars. Norris out just as Ocon comes in, just absolutely perfectly timed there. Norris comes out behind Bottas, who's on a medium tyre. He's going to be 2 stopping, which is going to put us in prime position for getting past him later in the race if we can't go ahead and do it now. So absolutely amazing there. Ocon is in 16th with some clear air to run in for himself. Meanwhile, we've got Vettel, Leclerc, Hamilton all out on track. They're easily going to one-stop this race. But you never know, they might do a Bottas, they might go for a medium. They might try a 2-stop. We have seen the Mercedes be aggressive before. We haven't really seen the Ferrari be too aggressive with their pit stops. We're just going to hold back from Bottas now. We know we've got the jump on him. Wehrlein though has managed to get out ahead, although he's gone through a lot of that tyre. He should be doing a 2-stop as well. He was really pushing that tyre out whilst we were going a little bit longer on that first stint on the soft tyre. He managed to get in for the hard tyre. And we've got a Ferrari in. And Leclerc is staying out. Leclerc's staying out. Hamilton's got problems with his car here as well. Mercedes struggling for reliability as they've been trying to catch up this season. And where are we at the moment? Vettel has managed to get out a long way ahead here. Vettel 13.8, 10 seconds ahead. Hamilton comes out behind us though, more importantly, which moves Norris up potentially into a podium finish here, depending on what we can get on the back of these cars. We can't really push at the moment, but we do maybe have room for 1 lap of pushing here to maybe clear the McLaren and the Red Bull whilst they're struggling, overtaking the Sauber and the Haas. If we can get this move done, we'll just do it for a lap and push ourselves past Alex Lynn. Hopefully get Wehrlein in the process of this as well, pushing all out. Although we can't do this for too long, but it is imperative that we clear Wehrlein pretty quickly as he's getting held up, and clear the Haas as well of Carlos Sainz if we can do that, and then we can just get back into recovering, although we open ourselves up to Wehrlein there. But we've got the run as Norris almost gets pushed out into the boards along the pit straight. There we go, Ocon is now on the back of this pack as well. We're going to get him pushing as well. Give him this 1 lap to see if he can get past this group of cars. Johnson is there. Leclerc's out on a medium tyre. He's going to be 2-stopping Vettel's out on a medium as well. So we've got Leclerc within our sights now, going for this 1-stop strategy We need to get past Alex Lynn here. We've got past, where is Bottas? He's in front of Verline, so if we can clear Lynn, that is going to put us on the back down the pit straight on Verline and Bottas if we can clear them. As Norris, meanwhile, is coming under pressure from Carlos Sainz, who makes that pass. Meanwhile, he's got Bottas all over the back of him. We're going to have to go in overtake mode here just to hold off Bottas. Meanwhile, Ocon, can we get past Verline? Bottas runs wide there, lets Verline past him. We can't keep this going for too long with Ocon, but we can then go into conserve mode once we do get past, although we're struggling at the moment to get past. Pretty much could be wrecking our strategy here doing this, but we made the move out. We've got the run on Verline as well. We do. We're past on Bottas to shoots up the inside there, and he's got the run on Norris here. Get back to Norris. Bottas might have it on him here, but we know Bottas is going to two-stop this race, so we shouldn't really be fighting with him. Is Verline going to two-stop as well? He's now behind Ricciardo, who's going to two-stop, so we shouldn't really be fighting with him too much either. So we'll just hold off now, because we're going to wreck our strategy if we just continue to fight with these cars around us, when possibly they're going to be two-stopping. If they get 2 seconds in front of us, it doesn't really matter. But we might as well try clear Billy Johnson as he just moves over, gives up that corner. Is he going to be quick out of that corner? He is, so we're going to get Norris pushing meanwhile. Hopefully get him past, although the Toro Rosso has been giving everyone problems recently as we've been trying to overtake him. We saw him hold up a couple of cars in the last race as Norris is coming under pressure now from a lot of cars around him. Bottas gets past him. Ocon currently behind Carlos Sainz. Waiting for all these cars to stop. They're going to be one stop in this race as well. Obviously we've caught them up and managed to get past him. Ocon manages to get past Carlos Sainz there. So both our cars next to each other on the track. Bottas currently in front. We can't really push the tyres or the fuel as much anymore because of what we're doing. The cars are a little bit too close together for my liking, but it's going to have to be, and Ocon's going to go upside, around the outside of Lando Norris here. Can Ocon make it stick? He's coming under pressure from Carlos Sainz, Danny Rick and Pascal Wehrlein behind him as Bottas is starting to charge off a little bit now. Almost out of the range of Vettel, who can two-stop this race pretty comfortably. Leclerc meanwhile shot off down the road on that medium tyre as well. If we can stay 20 seconds in front of him, we should have a strong finish to this race when he makes his second pit stop, which is what we're hoping for here, as we're just stuck behind Bottas at the moment. It's possibly slowing us up, but there's not much room in this tyre to push. We've used 25% over 5 laps. We need to be really getting a little bit more out of this tyre than that. So we're going to be running for conserve mode for some of the time as we see Ocon give up 2 places to the 2 Red Bulls there. Ocon had a bad corner, both Red Bulls go past him into 10th and 11th as we see some of the cars in front of pit. Magnus is out in 18th, Norris almost getting past Bottas there. It looked like they can't make it stick. It looks like the Red Bulls are going to be able to get past, but then going to be 2 stopping as well. So we're not really fighting here. It's just all about conserving our tyres, pretty much, because we're not really fighting these cars as such, because they do have another pit stop to make, whereas we're just trying desperately to stretch this tyre out until the end of the Grand Prix as we enter lap 15, and it does look like it's going to be possible. 68%, these hard tyres can go all the way down to 0%, so we've used 30% at the moment over 7 laps. So you'd say times that by another 2, and that would take us down to almost 10%. That will be 14 laps, so it's looking pretty comfortable at the moment, even just running in neutral. Might have to run in conserve mode for a little bit, but hopefully this is going to see us get Norris and Ocon up into 3rd and 4th, which could be what gives us the advantage over Ferrari into the final race of the season. That would at least allow us to still be ahead, hopefully in the Constructors' Championship with that finish. We've also still got Charles Leclerc in our sights, who is, depending on what he's doing with his mediums, he should be 2-stopping unless he's really conserving that tyre. Here we see he is starting to conserve his tyre a little bit. He's conserving his fuel at the moment though, as we move up into 8th and 10th now, as we start to see some of the other cars make their first and possibly final pit stop. Meanwhile, Wehrlein does have to pit, as we know. Ricciardo, Bottas has to pit. So everyone in front does have to pit again. Even Vettel and Leclerc should be pitting again. Meanwhile, we're just holding off a couple of Red Bulls at the moment, and that is Ocon getting past Daniel Ricciardo there. Ocon, meanwhile, still struggling getting past his teammate here. He's been behind his teammate for the entirety of this race so far, and Bottas at least is not charging on the road, so we know we've got him pretty much covered off because he's going to be coming into the pits as well. But he will have a chance of coming back at us because he's possibly going on to another set of medium tyres, which is quicker over some stages here, and Ocon trying to get past his teammate. Lets him get past. Oh, safety car's out. Safety car's out, which has pretty much wrecked our race here. Wrecked our strategy because everyone's going to get in and get a free pit stop here. Is Ocon close enough to get in and out of the pits here? Has he gone past? Has he gone past? He has. Can we get in and out of the pits on the next lap though? And just risk it all out here and get onto a set of mediums? Are we still going to be ahead if we do this? Because he did dive into the pits right as the safety car came out. We're not going to catch the safety car, so we could get this free pit stop done. Vettel is into the pits as well. Everyone's making this free pit stop, although Leclerc has stayed out, it seems. Leclerc has still stayed out. So can we get in and out of the pits here? We're going to double stack Ocon slightly. He's going to get a little bit screwed here. But we get in and out, so where are we as compared to the other Red Bulls? We just get the strategy turned down here. Where are we compared to Ricciardo, to Berline? So we come out still ahead. We're ahead of Bottas as well with one of the cars. We do have Leclerc in our sights, which might be the saving grace here, but we're way out of position. All these other cars have managed to get in and out of the pits as well. Those cars that were running long, the Force India of Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez in the Force India as well. We have a Renault, 2 Toro Rossos. We do need to get past them somehow, so we're just going to follow the safety car around. So the safety car's coming away, so we're going to get ready to go here. We've usually had a lot of good luck this season with the safety cars, but we've been royally screwed over here as the safety car has given all these cars a chance to pit, so we need to clear this traffic pretty rapidly at the moment. As you can see, we're already 7 and 10 seconds behind the leader, so we're going to get our fuel up into overtake mode as well here. We might just have to burn fuel. We need to clear this traffic of junk. We need to clear the Toro Rossos. We need to clear 2 Force Indias. We should have the pace to do that before the end of the race. But obviously, we just have to make sure this medium tyre can get to the end of the race as well. We can't push it too long. But hopefully, we're going to be in a position to clear these Toro Rossos as Bottas comes at us now. Bottas gets past, although Norris looking like he could hold on to this position. And meanwhile, we're actually falling behind the Toro Rossos here. Bottas has to slow down as the Toro Rosso slows down in front of him and does the same to us. Although we stay behind, can we clear Johnson here? We should have the run on this corner. Ocon, meanwhile, is still 13th. We're just going to push all out here. We have to do something, because if it stayed as it was, there would be a 14-point gap between us and Ferrari. Obviously, Leclerc does have to pit again. Ferrari have possibly messed him up by not pitting him. Norris does have a lot of traffic to overcome, as does Ocon, who has Lewis Hamilton in front of him. He's suddenly being put back into this race as well with the safety car. He was way out of position, having to have a part fixed. But there's not long left in this race. We're just going to keep pushing all out from this point forward, hoping that we can clear traffic here, although we're not really catching the Toro Rosso in front of us. Only 4 tenths of a second we're gaining per lap. We're getting right on the back of him here. Can Norris get past Pierre Gasly? Hopefully not like he did the last time he had to get past Pierre Gasly, where he just cut a corner totally. But anyway, Ocon now sort of stuck behind Lewis Hamilton. Lewis is not really making much progress himself. Obviously, who is that? That is Norris running wide. No! Everything going wrong in this race. Norris runs wide. Possibly pushing these guys too much at the moment. We're just going to have to turn back down here. And we're in a... What has happened to Ocon? He ran wide as well. In pushing all out in trying to catch the Ferraris, we've just gone way out of it now. 17 points behind, an absolute disaster. Just when we needed a good race, we have our first bad performance of the season. Aye, aye, aye. Oh no. Can't believe it. We're just going to have to cool these tyres down, and maybe we can get to pushing again at the end of the race. We're just going to have to hold off for a little bit, because we've got a big... We're possibly not even going to make the point. The only saving grace here is that Leclerc does have to maybe pit again, which is going to push him down the order. to maybe the back of the field, so they're going to lose some points there, which should even us up with Ferrari a little bit more. Currently 17 points behind. Norris, meanwhile, overtaken by Stoffel Van Dorn now. Things going from bad to worse as we're just cooling these tyres down for another attempt at pushing here. We don't really have much room to work with the fuel either, so let's get pushing. Both cars running wide. We don't usually have any cars pushing wide, but we did go for a prolonged period of pushing all out and trying to clear traffic. That strategy has totally not worked out for us, but we're going to attempt it again. It's our only way of climbing back up and maybe recovering at least a little bit of something during this race. Oh, and that is, who is that now? It's just something to do with this track. That is no, it's not even Magnussen, it's Hamilton running wide. Mercedes having a nightmare race as well, as Norris gets up into 12th place. Leclerc is in the pits and way outside the points now. He's all the way down, so that pulls us back within 3 points. If we can, and who is that? That is Hulkenberg battling with Norris at the moment. If we can just clear Billy Johnson here, get past Billy Johnson, get past the Toro Rosso, at least get back up into the points. Let's just start cooling down very briefly here. Ocon, meanwhile, is a long way behind. We're going to get him cooling down for a little bit. We need to start recovering this fuel as well. Hopefully, we do have the pace to stay ahead of Hulkenberg. We obviously do have more tyre life left than him. But if we can just move our car up a few places, we're going to get back to equal with the Ferraris here. And that is the best we can hope to do, getting out of this race. Meanwhile, we don't really have room to push with the fuel. We're just going to keep everything going. There's a 2-second gap to Pascal Wehrlein. Obviously, he's in a Red Bull. That's a lot quicker than us. There is Pierre Gasly further up the road and Felix Rosenqvist as well. So can we catch Gasly here for more points? Can we get Ocon somewhere near the points as well? Let's just cool him down really quickly. Give him like half a lap of cooling everything down, and then we can get to pushing again. And with Norris, should we do the same, get him out, and then we can get him pushing in attack mode. If we just cool these outside of the red zone, we can get him pushing and start chasing down the cars in front. So here we go, we're going to push once again with these cars. Let's back up here. Ocon, we need to move him up. Norris, we somehow need to get close to Gasly, who's dropping down the order. 9th place will put us 1 place behind the Ferrari heading into the final race. And if we can somehow get Ocon past Johnson, Van Dorn and Hulkenberg to that other point, somehow if we can do that, I don't think it might not be possible here. We should be able to clear the Toro Rosso, but the Toro Rossos are always really good somehow at keeping cars behind them, as we're within a second now of Pierre Gasly, and there's just a massive gaggle of cars in front of us, whereas Leclerc is a long way out now. So if we can clear a few cars before the end of the race, we're just going to keep this tyre going in attack mode, maybe cool it down if we can play some cars quickly. So Red Bull with Ricciardo in front, he's got a medium tyre, it's a little bit more warm than ours. And there we go, up into 9th, it's Pierre Gasly in front, although Ricciardo gets that place back as Norris is slow out of the corner. We're just going to conserve back up for maybe one more lap. And we should just, we're going to have to back up, aren't we? Just cool these tyres down again. Oh, Norris runs a little bit wide there, attempting to overtake Ricciardo, and we start dropping behind once again. So are we in position now? We're going to have to do it, just attack all out on these tyres. They're going to lose their performance, but there's no point switching back and forth now. We've got the tyre wear left. Gasly's tyre's running out though, so he should be doable here. Should be able to get past him before the end of the race and make that stick. Ocon, meanwhile, is just behind Van Dorn and Hulkenberg, so can we catch them? Is that a possibility here? And Norris, meanwhile, oh, Gasly's going to pit, so we're going to get past there at least easily, which moves Ocon up into 12th place. So can he make these moves before the end? We're going to be able to get pushing in high mode for the last lap. We've got Rosenqvist in front, who's got problems with his car. Can we get the move going on him? We want to use high mode down the straights of this track, but switch back when we can do. Just keep everything pushing all out. Can we get Rosenqvist? We can. It is the 2 Red Bulls in front of us, a second in front, they're not doable, so we need Ocon to get close and past Hulkenberg here to keep us on top here. Currently, oh, we are on top already, being 8. I was thinking we were 9th there for some reason, so we do retain the top spot going into the final race if we can make this stick. We do have fuel to push over the last little bit here. Can we get something going? Can Ocon, has he got the pace to get past Hulkenberg? He does, he gets past Hulkenberg. He's got Rosenqvist in his sights now. Can we do that? Can Norris take a Red Bull here as they fight between themselves? Our tyre's pretty much overheating. It can go to 10% this tyre, which it should be able to do. It should be able to get there before the end of the race. We're going to switch back to medium now. We should have a 2-point gap over the Ferrari if we can hold on here. We just need to keep Ocon ahead. Keep him in high mode, keep him in high mode, stay ahead here. And Norris meanwhile has got past Danny Rick as well. Can we keep this going until the end of the race? We're just going to conserve. Should we even push to get past Verline here, or should we conserve this tyre? Should we conserve this tyre very briefly? And we're coming up to the final corner now, so we're going to push all out. We're going to go in overtake mode around the last corner here. We're not going to go on fuel, and we finish 7th, 10th for Ocon. A good recovery considering what happened to us when we ran wide. Means we still hold on to the lead in the constructors going into the final race of the season. Mercedes totally out of it now, but somehow we are there and ready to take on the Ferraris in Phoenix, and hopefully we're going to have a good race there. Hopefully a Ferrari's being caught here with a risky part. Hopefully it's Sebastian Vettel. Would be amazing, but it's not going to happen. Vettel wins. Max Verstappen an amazing 2nd place and 3rd. 2 podiums for the Force India team there. Absolutely amazing from them. And Vettel has been crowned the Drivers' Championship here. He's now got a 30-point gap. That is unobtainable for Ocon in the final race. We're ahead of Lewis still, but most importantly, we are leading the constructors. But as we saw here, the Ferrari absolutely dominant. We were sort of let down by that safety car. We could have been way ahead. We could have been a lot further up. We wouldn't have had to push the car. We wouldn't have had the points in the races where both cars ran wide. But we can't do it. Sometimes safety cars work out in your favour. Other times they don't. We can't do anything about it. It's just lucky that Ferrari messed up the strategy of Charles Leclerc, not bringing him in to the pits under the safety car, because otherwise Ferrari would have been in a position where they would have been uncatchable for us. But anyway, we came 6th overall there. It's one of the first times that we've been behind our expected position. £847 coming out of the bank account. So we'll just finish with the interview as we usually do here. And there we go. It's with Mark Hughes for Autosport, Mercedes, AMGs. Just as usual, we'll just go this one because it keeps him buttered up. Just keeping these top drivers buttered up all the time. But anyway, that is it for this episode. We move on to the final race in Phoenix in the next episode. Should be an absolutely outstanding race as we try to win the constructors. I'm going to say now, I don't think there's any way we can do it, because it's all about the car and the drivers at the oval. There's no real chance of holding cars behind you. It's just overtake, overtake, overtake. If you're behind a car that's slower than you, behind drivers that are slower than you, just overtake. So it is going to be a strong race from Ferrari, but we do have a 4-point advantage. Not a massive advantage, but we might be able to hold on to it. Fingers crossed. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, all the usual stuff. But until next time, I'll see you down the road in Phoenix for the USA Grand Prix, the American Grand Prix. But until then, goodbye.